Hi, folks. Dear Myrtle here, your friend in genealogy. As many of you know, who attend my webinars, I'm doing less research and more sharing of my family history stories, particularly with my grandchildren in mind. And I'm making a big, huge book about Grandpa Sherrill and Grandma Myrtle. And so for those who are my grandchildren, they are their great great grandparents. But I've also been realizing I need to start working on my personal history. So one of my first solutions was to take an ordinary theme book, the kind we used in elementary school to do our journaling and things, and prettied it up a bit, as they say, my friends in Georgia. Added some embellishments here and there, a little ribboning to tie it at the side. The problem was there's too many pages. It's a bit intimidating. Yeah, nice line paper. That might work for you, but I only work in spurts. So I was looking for a smaller book and I found this one, probably over at Hobby Lobby. I don't think it's acid free. It was not very expensive. I think I got it on sale for like $4, and you can change the photo that goes in here. I liked it because the pages had some texture and they were not lined, so it would have worked. I could paste things in here, draw arrows and lines and exclamation points and things to illustrate. It's a possibility. But then I was watching a video by a new to me paper crafter, and she suggested, let me get this here, that we get 2 business size envelopes, and then let me find all the parts to it here. On the second one, we'd cut the bottom part to make a pocket, and same thing at the top. And let me show you what her plan was. She is suggesting that in order to attach them and make this a flap, whoops, that you need to take this part of the second envelope, insert it underneath, and attach it on the back side. And certainly we have glue enough to do that. But as I was working with it, well, the other thing to do, let me show this part, is to take and cover the pocket with some pretty decorative paper from your stash. And that's pretty good. But as I was working with it, a couple of problems came to mind. I'm flapping these back and forth, flipping, flopping, and I'm realizing that the only thing holding this flap and that one to the original envelope that has since been covered with pretty paper is that very thin little strip of paper from the envelope. And believe me, I've got good quality papers here. I mean, here's some of my Tim paper, and it's thick. I mean, you have to use something to help you fold it. It's that thick. This is just too flimsy in my view. It's the weakest point. And then you take the fact that in my case, each pocket has a bunch of things in it, and there are 3D embellishments that have been added. So each pocket is now weighing a lot. And, you know, some of these are 3D. I mean, it makes sense from a design, from a decorative point of view, that this would be intriguing for a child to pull out. There could be a little portrait of me as a little girl, or the croquet court if what I'm doing is telling the story of our Summer Olympic croquet games. But this is going to wear out in no time flat, if you ask me. I mean, I can ask the grandkids to be careful, but seriously, it's problematic. So that was edition 1. Let me show you another problem I had with this. I'll go to the top one. And I realize I'm going to have to record these during the day or change my lighting. The other thing I didn't like was that the interior of the pocket doesn't match my paper. And why cover up the good 2-sided paper like I usually use with that envelope. I just think it doesn't work for me. And so I did learn from the gal about making a tiny little booklet like this that's intriguing for grandchildren, but I don't like the that weak link. Yeah, look at the difference. Would you rather have white showing? I mean, on the second one, I switched to the white envelopes. Would you rather have white showing on the inside or a companion paper design? I think I want to go for the companion paper design. Enough of all that falderah. Okay, this is my second version. We'll get to the third version in a minute. I used this concept of, why don't we take this fabric? I keep saying fabric, it's because I want a quilt. Take this paper and on one side of it, make it about a half an inch or an inch longer so that when we want to attach it, that strong, heavy, I mean, you can hear it. Listen to that. That is not flimsy paper. It's like 110 cardstock. It would then go underneath and between the front and back cover of the envelope. And then we have a much stronger flap. I like that idea. And in fact, I got pretty creative. I added what somebody has explained to me is called a belly band, where you can put things behind here. I still know that there are things I want to add to it. And I guess I'm going to have to put a spot of glue so this little string stays on these little tags. It's a cute little amalgamation of tags without even having added little stories and tiny photos. I've lately been having to explain to grandchildren that Grandma Myrtle and Grandpa Shirl, their great-greats, had to use chamber pots and outdoor plumbing. Wow. Okay, that was version 2. All right, version 3. I'm quite proud of this. I decided to take the background, which is this blue star on a white grungy background, and have it extend into and underneath this about this far. So it's like a Z. Then I took and covered it as I wished. And you'll see when you look inside, let me pull these guys out, that I have a pretty designed fabric. You can see both sides. And I'm going to keep saying fabric today. I guess it's just the way it is. Here's a different kind of a belly band up here where I can put a photo or something like that. I'm much happier with this. The other thing that I did was, you notice that I left the inside kind of blank so that I can write on it, but it's graph paper, and I like graph paper. I always have liked graph paper and dotted paper because I guess I could connect the dots. I don't know what. Yeah, this book is waiting to be embellished with the stories that I want to share with my grandchildren. And what I'm thinking, because this doesn't take very long to make once you get this down pat, it's not hard to do at all. One story per unit. Let's get this under here. One story per unit with lots of little flippy floppies and tags and things like that. So that's what I did this week. I told the quilters group, the Ginny Quilters on Facebook, let's all do one something this week. And Bella kept sitting on the pieces of the quilt in my quilting room. So I gave up and came here and started working with glue and paper and little punchies and things along that line. What did she do? She came in just as I had applied the glue but had not put the pocket cover on, and she got glue in her tail. Well, that's one of those hazards, I guess, of being Mr. and Mrs. Myrt's cat. Anyway, that's what I'm doing to try to be intriguing and interesting when sharing the stories about our family history. Nothing left to say but happy family tree climbing, everybody. That's a wrap.